Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. This song has been on my really want to list for months now, and a ton of you keep recommending it too, so the wait is over. We're going to dive into some more Skid Row now. Right off the bat, this has so much more sentimentality to it and less drive than I thought that the song would have. That just from reading the lyrics, I thought this was gonna be a little bit more like fast-paced, kind of frustration, gut-wrenching, and instead it feels like it's almost nostalgic. Also, no percussion yet. It's just been pretty wistful.
You and I together in our lives, sacred times we'll never fray. Then why can't I let myself tell lies and watch you die every day? I think back to the times when dreams were what mattered.
Sebastian Bach has shown so many vocal colors in the song so far. One of the ones that I think is very important to recognize is the nasality that he brings into his sound. For a lot of singers, it would be more nasality than they would want in it. And I think that it allows him a lot of cut, a lot of yearning as well in the sound. But then he balances it by having this like throatiness, like a full throatiness to his sound at times, and a deeper growl. It's just fascinating. He has such a wide range of pitch and a wide range of timbres and vocal expression that he can bring. Let's go back here. That's very nasal. I love that vibrato into the slide there. I just want to point out that much nasality is actually pretty hard for a lot of people to achieve. You tell them to go nasal and their voices just naturally will sit back much further. So it's fun to hear him not only achieve that, but do it on purpose. Right there. The let myself, he like does almost a little, just a tiny bit of a growl into the sound. And there's that full throatedness that it then balances the nasality. It's fascinating. It has a little extra pulse to it, almost seems from a diaphragm. And in this section, I hear at times like a little squeezing or pinching in the sound. And then we get that openness and that full throatedness again. It's like all of these different, like, what would seem like juxtaposed, there we go, juxtaposed techniques are being brought into one thorough, combined, cohesive technique. It's a good slide on down too. Sensible. Wow. Before we can talk about anything else, that last held note was truly astonishing. He went up higher into what sometimes we'll call like an extension in the voice, where it almost feels like there's suddenly like there was going to be a ceiling to the voice, but then all of a sudden it's like the ceiling got removed, or maybe there was some curve or pathway around it, and you get this whole set of notes above it, and another set of pitches that the voice can easily access. Having an extension is can be very, very useful. The breath control of it was absolutely amazing. And then the tonal control, right? How he shifted the timbre as he went through the note was also uh, just groundbreaking. It was very, very good. There were other things I wanted to say, but we're gonna have to go back to Cashem because my mind got wiped by that note. Whew. Is this where the chorus started? Yeah. Yeah. This is more what I was expecting for the song to feel like, but it feels like we traveled so far in just the first minute and 15 seconds. Like I didn't expect there to be as much uh soft sentimentality. I expected there to be like a little more rock to it. And so now that it feels heavier, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get this. This feels like Skid Row to me. I am particularly loving the way that no matter how much of a leap or how soaring the melody is, it always just sounds so hooked up, right? It sounds like he's very much relying on fantastic support and this steady energy stream of sound. I like that harmony too. So he actually starts it with distortion in the sound, goes clean and straight, then brings in vibrato, and then brings more distortion back and a slide off. Whoa, whoa. So when he goes up to you, that's where I really hear the extension starting. It's just so impressive. There's this, it's like telling a pole vaulter that they're only going to get above a certain point, and then all of a sudden you lift the bar up, like not just a little bit, but quite a bit. And the pole vaulter's like, yeah, I was just waiting for you to challenge me. And then soars over with ease. Wow. Cool vibrato. This section demonstrates something extremely important about the quality of a voice that a lot of people confuse. A lot of times people think that a nasal voice has the opposite, or the opposite of a nasal voice is a breathy voice, which is not the case. The opposite of breathy is usually going to be pressed. If we're just talking about the sound production, right, we're talking about how much air is coming through versus not. And I think it's really impressive here how much air he brings into the sound at times. Like he really actually adds quite a bit. And I've heard him sing in a pressed phonation as well, but he doesn't necessarily take it away from still having that extra nasal resonance. So you get breathy and nasal at times.
Where's my friend?
That's actually it's a great example.
Where's my friend I used to know?
That when he does the wider vibrato on no, he's definitely over exaggerating it there on purpose. And it's fascinating to me. You can tell when a person goes from natural vibrato to actually adding tension to the sound to create a bigger vibrato or a different type. That's it almost loses a sense of where the fundamental pitch is.
Where's my friend I used to know? He's all around. He's very deep within. God just searching for a soul. Can you feel it?
I love the way he carried the breath through there.
Why can't you believe you can be loved? Oh, he's screaming agony. And the horse they are beating rages in the name of destiny.
He just like sometimes his singing makes my head feel like the crown of my skull is just gonna fly off. He does things that they're not just good, they're astonishing. Like to the point where I feel like it shouldn't be possible. And I've heard him sing before, but I still feel like it shouldn't be possible. The amount of air he's adding to his sound and still keeping the center of the tone, I'm like, this, it feels like the sound shouldn't be this strong. It still has an edginess to it, but it has a ton of air to it. And then the way he slides and goes up to the top there is mind-boggling.
Oh, he's screaming agony. And the horse they are beating rages.
I actually think if you were to take this kind of breathiness and add it to another powerful voice with a total different, like fundamental timbral makeup, you have Bruce Dickinson when he adds that sort of hushed narrative moment in songs with Iron Maiden. He brings this idea into his voice. I think is just absolutely extraordinary, but still has a roundness in the tone, whereas Sebastian Bach is actually bringing it into this nasality a lot of times. It's just shocking.
You can't be loved. Oh, he's screaming agony. And the horse they are beating rages in the name of destiny.
That
Just wasting time. Can you look at yourself when you think of what you left behind? Is it all just wasted time? Can you live with yourself when you think of what you've left behind?
wow. Wow. It's like that kind of support and connection and then wailed high note that just competes with some of the best tenors in opera of our time. It's insane. I'm going to go back to the beginning of this chorus. I think it's hereish. Pay attention to how he makes sound or connects the silence between each of the phrases. Normally, you don't want to make a lot of noise when you're inhaling. If you go, that's actually the tube closing to help make that kind of phonation. So it closes, it makes that sound, and it prevents as much air from going in. But we hear moments where it's essentially like almost gasps off of the sound and charged emotion. So it seems like even though he takes a breath and there is silence at times, it feels like the energy never drops between phrases.
Is it all just wasted time? Can you look at yourself when you think of what
Right?
you left behind? Is it
And he connects that without a breath there.
wasted time? Can you live with yourself when you think of what you've left behind?
As if it wasn't impressive enough already. Like, wow. 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 I feel like he's just limitless. Wow. That's what I have to say. I'm going to go one more time on that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ooh, jumpy. That was so jumpy in the solo. It was like had such huge leaps, and I think he was going up to different harmonics there. Woo. It's like those pictures are further apart than Mozart would ever write for a soprano he hated. If you remember that story before, I hope you liked that callback. Wow. Man, there's, with artists, you always want to be careful to not just say, oh my gosh, they're so talented, because that can really degrade the amount of work that an artist puts into their craft. Sometimes there are people that are living off of pure talent, or I should say mostly talent, but there's so much dedication and so much work and so many hours that are poured into becoming an expert at your art, at your craft. So when people just are like, oh, you're so talented, you don't know how many singers that really offends. So be careful with that word. But I'm going to apply it right here. He's so talented, just meaning that from the very basis of his sound, like he has so much more naturally available to him than most voices will ever have, no matter the work that they put in. People can put in a ton of work and become incredible singers. Jeez, there's just, and I'm not saying that he hasn't put in tons of dedication and work. And I mean, I know that he's still releasing things today. From the little that I know about him, I think he's just an incredible artist. But when you hear this and you know how young he is still here, just dang, this voice feels like there were never any limits. Just learning how to use it better and better as he grows older and has done, I understand, so many other kinds of styles too. He's incredibly versatile, right? That's dedication, but also talent. I think his support is just phenomenal, and that's dedication. Resolution to major. And then shift. It almost felt like there was a major key shift that was being prepared right there. Let's talk briefly about these lyrics. Uh, I I think that this idea of is it all just wasted time fundamentally bothers me because there's so many people that get down about their lives and think, oh, that time that I spent there, and I know because I've been here. Okay, when you think back to the past and you think like I could have done better. I I just wasted years of my life instead of doing something productive. I was being totally dumb, or other people did things to me at the time that left me in the dumps. There's so much backwards thinking, backwards facing looking that we can do and feel that the time was wasted. But I sincerely believe today, like one of my moral foundations is it's a phrase from the Stormlight Archives. Thank you, Brandon Sanderson. Journey before destination. I think that you would not be here today and living on a path to be much better if you hadn't gone through what you'd gone through before. Sure, you can look back and say, I wish I'd just gotten there quicker, but the journey takes you through what you need to go through to get to your next step. And I really believe that we need to go through the journey and learn and grow along the way. You can't just skip to the end. It doesn't work like that. It feels inauthentic. It isn't human. So I I don't think that there's wasted time. Yeah, I've had some bad patches in life, but when you go back and you think about them instead of thinking that was wasted, I encourage you to rewrite your story and say, that patch helped me get to where I am today. And I'm alive and I'm able to do good in the world today. So, anyhow, fundamentally disagree with the lyrics, except for the fact that they are asking a question. And the answer is no, it wasn't just wasted time. It's good to ask this.
I never thought you let it get this far.
Wow.
I never thought you let it get this far. Oh, no.
The way he plays around with the melody in here, it reminds me some of Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin. I'm curious actually how much he was influenced by him. But I think it's fascinating the way that it feels like his imagination is what drives the sound, not the vocal ability. This last part, he started a note very, very high. Starting that high, especially in the tone quality that he started in, would normally be very difficult for a lot of people to achieve. And instead, it's like he just imagined it and it happened. I will say, imagination has a lot of power as far as how our sound comes out. A lot of times, it's just our minds that restrict how our voices can blossom. But his voice really does sound limitless. That's hard. And bluesy.
Thought you'd let it get this far, boy.
This didn't resolve at the end. It just left it hanging, left it open. And I liked the flash of the visual as well, because I was never quite sure if that last blackout would be the last blackout out of the music video. It really left so much open to whatever we think is gonna happen next in the journey. And I appreciate that, especially with this big question of, is it wasted time? If y'all want to recommend some more music, I invite you to do that down below in the comments of this YouTube video. And if you want to hear some more analysis of Skid Row and some other incredible vocalists, I'll put some Bruce Dickinson on there too. Check out this playlist. May you fall more in love with music every day.